In 1993, the Software Refinery came together, another talented developer who were primarily published by UK powerhouse Gremlin Interactive. Having cut their teeth in the 80s and early 90s on a series of Star Wars arcade conversions and flight sims, including the graphic system for dystopian hoverbike sim Killing Cloud. Craft that hover in the air suspended. Now there's a cool idea, thought members of the refinery, and so Slipstream 5000 was born. Well, not really, since it was clearly based off late 80s star-studded British sci-fi flop Slipstream. None of that mattered though, because they could make competitive hover vehicle combat racing a thing, and that's awesome. You fly as one of a plethora of 90s stereotypes from across the world, or just pick Royce because he's the best and the manliest man to ever live. Or at least that's what he'll tell you. Your craft is controlled via keys or joystick and an accelerator, and you have the option of switching between weapons and a boost power-up, which gives you a temporary increase to your speed. Handling isn't as accurate as a flight sim, and you'll have to acquaint yourself by practicing in the Grand Canyon. The limited 3D visuals of 1995 give your craft a feeling of weight, and its turning circle isn't the most spectacular. Your primary lasers can be used to slow down opponents and destroy power-up crafts, which drop power-ups. But be wary, every so often they'll drop a red one that reverses your steering controls temporarily. Other power-ups litter the track and the opposition will also utilize them, so gobble them up if you have the chance. Boost and Turbo provide boost power either immediately or as a refill to be used later, and there are 2 repair sections for the engine and steering. The more damaged you become, the more difficult it is to steer and the slower you get. The AI of Slipstream is surprisingly competitive for the time, and unless you're on your game, they'll give your craft a pounding and steal your top spot, while constantly telling you about it endlessly over the radio intercom. Which doesn't get annoying. You have a choice between practice, single race and championship, where points are awarded for victories and additional tracks are unlocked other than Arizona, or you can just type Refinery into the main menu. The game supports the wonderful General MIDI and Sound Blaster combo, so your engines and laser hits and the solid soundtrack are ever present. And these sound options are actually adjustable in-game, including the ability to turn weapons off and have a more pure racing experience. But why would you want to do that? You also have a shop mode to buy upgrades to your craft and additional weaponry in missile form that carries over in championship races. A very pleasant feature to use. And that's what's so endearing about Slipstream 5000. The presentation is top notch and deliciously of its time, and they lean into the radical awesomeness of hover vehicle championships and treat it like the logical conclusion of professional wrestling and Formula 1 combining, including fully voiced presenters for the championship mode. Pre-race commentary and fly-throughs of the track are provided by Lyle and Crystal, who are very much of their time with the banter and politically incorrect 90s humour. Lyle especially on the Amazon track, when he gets into an argument with a native about a snake. The biggest problem Slipstream has is that it appeared right before 3DFX really took off, and unlike Bullfrog's High Octane, Slipstream never benefited from this. Then the likes of Wipeout appeared, and by 1997 its racing thunder had been stolen and its engine was dated. But if you can look past the suspect handling and blocky dated graphics, there's a really fun combat racer here, with an idea and style that hasn't really been repeated since.